Hi everyone, my name is Chris and I'm going to be talking to you about the city of Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Johnstown is located in southwest Pennsylvania and it's about 75 miles east from Pittsburgh, PA. This is a map of Johnstown. It kind of shows the overview of the larger area of Johnstown. There's a lot of different districts and boroughs within Johnstown, but my focus today is going to be on the actual city of Johnstown. 84% of the population are high school graduates or have higher education. The median and mean income is quite low, and 37.9% of the population actually live below the poverty line. 45% of the population is Roman Catholic, 83% female, and 47% males. Most people who live in Johnstown are between the ages of 35 and 54. It's predominantly white. Here's kind of a breakup of the crimes that occurred in Johnstown in 2018. Some institutions of the city that promote the arts are the Bottle Works, which is shown here. The Bottle Works has all sorts of classes, painting, sculpting, music. There's also the venue of Merging Arts Symphony Orchestra, a ballet company, Center for Metal Arts, Johnstown Area Heritage Association. They run a museum. There's a children's museum. They do walking tours of the area. The Stonebridge Players, which is a theater troupe, and Central Park is where a lot of these activities occur. A lot of music events, festivals, and things happen in Central Park. Johnstown War Memorial and First Summit Arena is where the Johnstown Tomahawks play. Last year, Johnstown won the Kraft Hockeyville USA, and so the area was given money to update the arena. There's a Point Stadium, also known as Sargent Stadium, where All-American Amateur Baseball Association plays some of their games. The high school football teams in the area play there as well. There's also something called the Bulldog Arena, which is a boxing rink where matches are held. Some of the major employment institutions of Johnstown is JWF Industries. They're a fabrication manufacturing place. They do have a lot of government contracts. Conemaugh Hospital is a really huge employer of the area. Johnstown School District, and the state of Pennsylvania has a lot of offices in downtown Johnstown. Some of the educational opportunities in Johnstown is Conemaugh Nursing School, Penn Highlands Community College. Pitt University has a campus in Johnstown. It's not within city limits, but I thought it was worth mentioning because it is a larger university. And there is the Greater Johnstown Career Institution. Johnstown has a lot of community festivals and celebrations. There's the Flood City Music Festival, the Ethnic Fest, the Polka Fest. There is a large Polish population in Johnstown. Thunder in the Valley, which is a yearly motorcycle rally. There are thousands of people that flood to the area for it. It's a very popular event. A Halloween parade, a Christmas parade, Sunday Market on the Green, which is a new event that started a few months ago. Once a month they shut down part of the town and local vendors come. There's live music, food. It's just a really nice time to be part of the community. Ice Fest occurs in the middle of the winter, and they have local artists do ice carvings that you can watch. There's food and music. It's a really nice way to kind of break up the winter. Ohio State University has come up with good community assessments, and they hit on 9 things that they feel that a community needs to have and thrive in order to be considered good. So the first thing that they list is safety. And under safety, there are 3 things. There's a plan for natural disasters, that people are free from hazard, like be it environment or other, and that there's a low crime rate. Johnstown is known as the Flood City, so they have developed early warning systems and recent dam reconstructions to kind of prevent that. That happened in 2012. They also, within the last few years, have required that everyone update their sewer lines in the city and surrounding areas. Crime rates, however, are high in the city of Johnstown compared to the area at large, and this is definitely a concern for a lot of people. It's something that the city needs to work on, and one way that they could do that would be to increase the police force in the area. Goods and services. A good community needs to have options and access to services. There are a lack of choices as far as retailers in the area. There are not a lot of retailers. There's not a lot of options and choices, and so you really do have to kind of travel outside of the area to have those options. But that is something they're working on. Small businesses are coming back to downtown, and they're really working for that to occur so that you don't have to travel as far. But as of now, you do have to travel to have choices. Another thing that they noted was a good community has relationships that bind citizens together. That they provide opportunities to have shared experiences with others, and there's a lot of ways in the community that you can do that. One is through the Catholic parishes, the art communities, the grassroots movements that are trying to improve the city on a whole. Another thing that they stated that a good community needs to have is a commonality of values and goals. So sharing similar values and pursuing goals together. A lot of the people who live within Johnstown are Catholic, so the parishes work together to raise funds. They might be raising money just to keep their building maintained, or maybe for community events or services. The community is also working together to get rid of the blight in the area, so there's been fundraisers to have the buildings removed that are just sitting empty or falling down. There's also a push for some of the abandoned buildings to be sold. An example of this is there was a church that was just kind of sitting empty, was recently sold, and has now been redone and being used as a place for wedding receptions or parties. And so it was a really good way to reuse the building and not just let it sit there empty. So the community members also are working together to rebuild downtown through small businesses and community activities. There's a real drive to bring people downtown, to bring activities downtown, and to kind of clean up the area. Another point of a good community, according to Ohio University, is a whole person principle, that the people in the community are looked at in a holistic manner, and that they can form relationships that are authentic. There are many institutions that allow for that, as I've kind of stated before, the churches, the art community. There are definitely places where people can go and find like-minded people and be known on a deeper level. Whether or not the community on its own provides that, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's something that you have to seek out. Predictability. They also stated that a good community, that there's predictability within routines of maybe people's days and interactions. I think some of the predictability that comes to Johnstown is in the weekly programs they have, whether it be at the library or the senior centers, the churches. There's definitely certain things that happen every single week. Same with like festivals and events. There's things that you always can look forward to and know that are going to happen in a timely manner. So in my mind, I think that really adds predictability to the community. They also say that there's a recognized place in the social structure, so that the community members feel that they have a place and a function within the actual community. And I would say that for some people that's very true. They're the bank manager of the bank that my husband and I go to. He's very much like Mr. Johnstown, so he's always promoting things. He's in the know. He's kind of a mover and shaker, and people know that about him. They know that if they go talk to him, they're going to hear a lot of things about Johnstown and what's going on. There's a man in our church, kind of eccentric, but really knows the history of Johnstown and of the floods and the things that happen, and he's always willing to tell you a fact or two, and is kind of known as, you know, the history guy around. So there are definitely those kind of people within the community. I don't know that everyone feels that they have that kind of place in the community, but I think everybody could recognize people who do and have those roles. So another part of the good assessment that they discussed was opportunities, so that people have an opportunity for growth and fulfillment. And there are a lot of ways in Johnstown that people can get that if they want, culturally, religiously, recreationally, artistically. There's a lot of things going on that people, if you're interested in it, there's probably some sort of opportunity for you to participate in that. Johnstown is very much racially the same. There's a lot of it's a very white neighborhood. Everyone, or not everyone, but a large population of them are Catholic. I think where the diversity comes in is in the ethnicity. There are a lot of people from a lot of different places, and there's a Polish community, there's a Slovak community, there's a German community, all within the city of Johnstown. So there's a lot of diversity. Even within my own church, there were 5 different community churches that came together, and each of those churches were from a different ethnicity. And so the church works together to keep the diversity, but also to focus on the commonality and moving forward together. And I think that's kind of reflects the community in a whole, that it's a very diverse place, but that people strive to work together for kind of the common good and to the betterment of the community as a whole. So these are my references, and all the photos in the presentation were my own. And I thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you.